Hello, and welcome back to English Podcast Pro. I'm Anna.
And I'm Leo. And Anna, after our super popular episode on morning routines, our listeners have been asking for the natural sequel.
They have, and it's a topic that's just as important, if not more so, for setting yourself up for success. That's right. Today, we're dedicating a full hour to the night routine.
The wind down, the decompression, the art of switching off. We'll explore why it's crucial, hear from our listeners, break down a fantastic dialogue full of key vocabulary, and even get some expert tips.
So whether you're a night owl who thrives after dark or someone who struggles to quiet their mind before bed, there's something in this episode for you.
Let's start by listening to our main dialogue. We have two roommates, Chloe and Mark, discussing their very different approaches to the evening.
As always, first listen is at normal speed. Let's hear how their nights unfold.
Mark, are you still working? It's almost 10:30.
I know. I just have to power through this last email. My brain won't shut off. I was staring at my phone in bed for an hour last night, just doom scrolling.
Oh, that's the worst. I had to break that habit. Now, my phone goes on the charger across the room by 9 p.m. It's a hard and fast rule.
Really? What do you even do instead?
Well, after I clean up from dinner, I try to unwind. Around 8, I'll light a candle, maybe read a novel for a bit. Then, by 9:30, I start getting ready for bed. I do my skincare routine, brush my teeth, and jot down 3 things I'm grateful for in my journal. It helps me decompress.
Jot down? You write in a journal? That sounds peaceful. My evening usually involves crashing on the couch and binge-watching a show until I pass out.
Yeah, but then you wake up with the TV still on. That blue light really messes with your sleep cycle. You should try winding down properly. It makes a world of difference. I'm out like a light by 10:30, and I sleep like a log.
Out like a light. I envy that. I'm always tossing and turning. Maybe I need to unplug more.
Start small. Maybe just charge your phone outside your bedroom tonight. Baby steps.
Yeah, you're right. Baby steps. Okay. I'm going to send this email, and then I'm going to try to unplug.
Okay, so we have Chloe, the queen of calm, and Mark, who is struggling.
Big time. He's hit a wall, and his routine isn't serving him. This is a great conversation because it's so relatable.
It really is. Let's break down all that fantastic language in our first language takeaway of the episode.
Language takeaway. Power through.
Power through.
Power through. Mark says he has to power through this last email.
This means to continue doing something with a lot of effort, even when it is difficult or you are tired.
You power through a task. You power through a workout. It's about using willpower to finish something.
Exactly. Next phrase, and it's a great modern one, doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling.
This is the habit of scrolling through social media or news feeds, reading a lot of negative or sad news.
It's that endless, passive scrolling that leaves you feeling anxious and drained instead of relaxed. A very common pre-bed habit for many.
A terrible habit. Our next phrase is a great adjective phrase. Hard and fast.
Hard and fast.
Hard and fast rule. Chloe says charging her phone across the room is a hard and fast rule.
This means a strict rule that must never be broken. It is not flexible. It is hard and fast.
Very useful. Now, a simpler but essential verb, to unwind.
To unwind.
To unwind.
This means to relax and stop feeling anxious or stressed. It's the main goal of a night routine.
You unwind after a long day. You unwind with a book or some music.
Perfect. And lastly, a wonderful phrasal verb, pass out.
Pass out.
Pass out.
Mark says he binge watches until he passes out.
This is an informal way to say fall asleep, but it often implies falling asleep very suddenly or from exhaustion, not intentionally.
It's not the same as going to sleep. It's more like collapsing from tiredness.
Great distinctions. Let's move on to fluency builder.
Fluency builder. Out like a light.
Out like a light.
Out like a light.
This means to fall asleep very quickly and deeply. If someone is out like a light, they fell asleep instantly.
The opposite of what Mark does, which is toss and turn.
Toss and turn.
Toss and turn.
This means to move around restlessly while trying to sleep. You can't get comfortable, you can't find the right position, so you toss and turn all night.
And if you sleep like a log,
Sleep like a log.
it means you sleep very deeply and soundly without waking up. A log doesn't move, so if you sleep like one, you had a great undisturbed sleep.
I love that one. And finally, Chloe's advice to Mark, baby steps.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
This means to start a new or difficult thing by doing it in very small, gradual stages. You don't try to change everything at once. You take baby steps.
It's fantastic advice for building any new habit, especially a night routine.
Listener stories and Q&A. We asked our listeners to share their night routines and their biggest challenges, and we got so many great responses.
We did. Let's hear a couple. Listener Maria from Spain says, I work the night shift, so my night routine starts at 7 a.m. My biggest challenge is blackout curtains not being enough. The world is so loud during the day.
That's a huge challenge, Maria. Creating a daytime sleep environment is tough. We feel for you.
And listener Tom from Canada writes, my routine is reading to my kids. It winds us all down. But after they're asleep, I just can't resist checking my work Slack. It's a terrible habit that ruins my sleep.
The classic one quick check that turns into an hour of stress. Tom, you are not alone. So many of us struggle with that digital boundary.
We'll have some tips for that later.
Deep dive and expert tips with a guest. To really understand the why behind a good night routine, we're joined by a special guest. Dr. Evelyn Reed is a sleep specialist and therapist. Welcome to the show, Dr. Reed.
Thanks for having me, Leo, Anna.
Dr. Reed, from your perspective, why is a consistent wind-down routine so important for our brains?
Great question, Anna. Our brains aren't light switches. We can't just flip from on to off. A routine acts as a signal to your nervous system that it's time to shift from the sympathetic fight or flight state to the parasympathetic rest and digest state. The predictability is calming in itself.
That makes so much sense. So for someone like Mark from our dialogue, who is doom scrolling and working right until bed, what's the first baby step you'd recommend?
The single most effective change is creating a digital sunset. This is that hard and fast rule Chloe mentioned. Charge your devices outside the bedroom. This one change removes the temptation for scrolling and separates your sleep space from your stress space.
A digital sunset? I love that term. What about for people whose minds race with to-do lists as soon as their head hits the pillow?
This is where the jot down habit is key. Keep a notepad by your bed. Brain dumping all those thoughts onto paper gets them out of your head and onto a list you can deal with tomorrow. It's a form of cognitive offloading that is incredibly effective.
Fantastic practical advice. Thank you so much, Dr. Reed.
My pleasure.
Revisiting the dialogue and pronunciation. Let's revisit our dialogue now with slower pronunciation and a focus on the natural flow of the conversation. Dialogue. Second time, slower, with emphasis on phrases.
Mark, are you still working? It's almost 10:30.
I know. I just have to power through this last email. My brain won't shut off. I was staring at my phone in bed for an hour last night, just doom scrolling.
Oh, that's the worst. I had to break that habit. Now, my phone goes on the charger across the room by 9 p.m. It's a hard and fast rule.
Really? What do you even do instead?
Well, after I clean up from dinner, I try to unwind. Around 8, I'll light a candle, maybe read a novel for a bit. Then, by 9:30, I start getting ready for bed. I do my skincare routine, brush my teeth, and jot down 3 things I'm grateful for in my journal. It helps me decompress.
Jot down? You write in a journal? That sounds peaceful. My evening usually involves crashing on the couch and binge watching a show until I pass out.
Yeah, but then you wake up with the TV still on. That blue light really messes with your sleep cycle. You should try winding down properly. It makes a world of difference. I'm out like a light by 10:30, and I sleep like a log.
Out like a light. I envy that. I'm always tossing and turning. Maybe I need to unplug more.
Start small. Maybe just charge your phone outside your bedroom tonight. Baby steps.
Yeah, you're right. Baby steps. Okay. I'm going to send this email and then I'm going to try to unplug.
After dialogue, did you notice the rhythm? Phrases like, I had to break that habit, and it makes a world of difference are so natural.
You should try winding down properly. That falling tone on down sounds sincere and helpful.
I just have to power through this last email. You can hear the exhaustion.
Final thoughts and listener challenge. So, Anna, what's the one takeaway from tonight?
For me, it's the concept of the digital sunset. It's such a clear, actionable goal. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about one small change.
Absolutely. So, here's our challenge for you, our listeners. This week, implement just one element of a night routine. Maybe it's a digital sunset, 30 minutes before bed. Maybe it's reading 5 pages of a book. Maybe it's just jotting down one thing you're grateful for.
Tell us how it goes. Share your one small change with us on our YouTube community page.
And if you found this deep dive helpful, please help us out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, English Podcast Pro, for video lessons, pronunciation guides, and more.
Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a lesson.
That's all the time we have for this epic episode on night routines. Until next time.
Sleep well.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Leo and Anna, for that wonderful discussion about night routines. Now, for our English learners out there, let's break down some of the vocabulary and expressions we heard in that conversation. These are really useful terms when talking about your evening habits and sleep.
First, let's talk about power through. This means to continue doing something difficult even when you're tired or don't want to do it. For example, I had to power through my homework even though I was exhausted. It's like using your inner strength to get something done. Here's another example. She powered through her workout despite feeling sore from yesterday's session. A practical tip: when you need to power through, try breaking the task into smaller chunks and rewarding yourself after each completion. This expression comes from the idea of using power or energy to push through resistance.
Next, doom scrolling. This is a newer term that describes the habit of continuously scrolling through bad or negative news on your phone, especially before bed. It's called doom scrolling because you're scrolling through what feels like endless doom and gloom. Additional examples. I caught myself doom scrolling through pandemic news for 2 hours last night. Or, his anxiety increased after an evening of doom scrolling through political arguments. Practical tip: set a timer for social media use or use app blockers to prevent doom scrolling. The term became popular during the COVID-19 pandemic when people were constantly checking negative news updates. A hard and fast rule means a strict rule that doesn't have exceptions. If someone says, I have a hard and fast rule about no phones after 10 p.m., it means they never break that rule. It's fixed and definite. More examples. My company has a hard and fast rule against working on weekends. Or, there's a hard and fast rule in this household. No shoes inside. Practical usage. This phrase emphasizes that the rule is non-negotiable. It originated from sailing terminology where hard and fast described a ship that was firmly aground and couldn't move, suggesting something fixed and immovable. Unwind is a great verb that means to relax and release tension. After a long day, you might unwind by reading a book or taking a bath. It's the opposite of winding up or getting stressed. Additional examples. I need to unwind with some music after that stressful meeting. Or, she unwinds by practicing yoga every evening. Practical tips. Create an unwind ritual. Maybe light a candle, play calming music, or do some gentle stretching. The word comes from the literal meaning of unwinding something that's wound up tight, like a spring or clock. Now let's look at some sleep expressions. Pass out means to fall asleep very suddenly, often because you're extremely tired. I was so exhausted after work that I passed out on the couch. More examples. The baby passed out in the car seat within minutes. Or, after the marathon, he passed out as soon as he got home. Important note. Pass out can also mean to lose consciousness, so context is key. Practical usage. This is informal and often used humorously to describe extreme tiredness. It suggests complete exhaustion, where sleep happens involuntarily. Out like a light is similar. It means falling asleep very quickly and deeply. If someone says, I was out like a light as soon as my head hit the pillow, it means they fell asleep instantly. Additional examples. After that big Thanksgiving dinner, everyone was out like a light by 8 p.m. Or, the medication made her out like a light within 20 minutes. Practical tip? This expression often describes sleep that comes easily after physical exhaustion or relaxation. The comparison to a light suggests something that turns off immediately and completely, with no gradual fading. On the other hand, toss and turn describes when you can't sleep well and keep moving around in bed. I was tossing and turning all night because I was worried about my exam. More examples. The noisy neighbors had me tossing and turning until 2 a.m. Or, whenever I drink coffee too late, I end up tossing and turning. Practical solutions. If you find yourself tossing and turning, try getting up and doing something relaxing for 15 minutes rather than staying in bed frustrated. This expression vividly describes the physical restlessness of poor sleep. If you sleep like a log, it means you sleep very deeply and soundly without waking up. Logs don't move, so this expression means you didn't move at all during your sleep. Additional examples. After camping all day, I slept like a log despite the hard ground. Or, the white noise machine helps me sleep like a log through city noises. Finally, baby steps means taking small, gradual actions toward a bigger goal. If you're trying to establish a better night routine, you might take baby steps by starting with just 5 minutes of reading before bed instead of trying to change everything at once. I hope these expanded vocabulary explanations and practical usage tips help you better understand and use night routine expressions in English. Sweet dreams, everyone. And if you enjoyed this vocabulary lesson, be sure to subscribe to English Podcast Pro on YouTube for more engaging English learning content that will help take your language skills to the next level.